Hi everyone, Leah here from EurekaCrystalBeads.com with another fun beading video for you. Before I get started, just a quick reminder to go check out the rest of our channel. And if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and notification bell, and you'll always know when we're posting new content. Today's project is going to be a beautiful layering piece that you're going to be able to wear multiple times around your wrist or a few times around your neck, either 3 layers at the same length or at different lengths. The main feature of this project are these absolutely beautiful 3x2mm Chinese crystal faceted beads. Now, these are a great price point alternative when you don't necessarily want to spend more money on fancier crystal. But I have to tell you, these catch the light beautifully and sparkle like crazy. Okay, let's talk about the items that we're going to be using to make this project. First of all, let's look at our findings. We're going to be using a magnetic clasp to fasten our bracelet or necklace, and the fact that it's a magnetic clasp is going to make it even easier to utilize this project for a bracelet. We also have a couple of 2mm tube crimps and a couple of wire guards. So I have a length of soft flex beading wire. This is the 014 fine diameter, and I have about 65 inches here total. I'm going to be using 60 inches for my stringing. The remaining 5 inches are just for doing any of the crimping that I need to attach to my clasp. But the 60 inches is what we're going to string up, and that is so we can have 5 different colors of our Chinese crystal here, and we're going to string up 12 inches of each color. That's going to give us the 60 inches. This means that you can wrap it a bunch of beautiful times around your wrist or 3 times at least around your neck. And the breakdown of that is if you wear all 3 strands or all 3 wraps around your neck at the same length, they will all at least be 20 inches long. But the fun thing is you can then pull some of the strands longer, which causes some of the other wraps to pull up shorter, and you can also have a beautiful layered look with graduated strands. Lastly, you're going to need something to cut your soft flex wire with. I like using these flex wire cutters because they are cutters that are meant for specifically cutting flexible beading wire. And then of course we have our crimper tool. And because I'm using a 2mm by 2mm tube crimp, this is going to be the standard size crimper tool. Now, before we get going and crimp to our clasp to then start stringing, you're going to want to have a ruler somewhere nearby because we have 5 colors here. And we're going to be stringing up 12 inches of each color like I mentioned before. So you're going to want to measure as you go. Now, if you don't want to use 5 colors and you want to use less colors or more colors, simply take 60 and divide it by the number of colors that you have. And that will tell you the number of inches that you'll have to string up for each color. Now, first we're going to start off with a crimp tube strung onto the end of our soft flex. We're going to then take the end of your soft flex and string it through one side of your wire guard, which is a little tube. And you'll see that it has an open channel along the top. String that through. And this is why we're going to string with 60 inches, but I allowed an extra 5 for doing all of our crimping because it's just easier to have a little bit extra. Now you're going to feed that wire down through the other tube. And you're going to notice that when you pull, the soft flex gets caught in that little channel. Now, before you slide your crimp over both pieces of wire, we're going to take our wire guard here and we're going to feed it through the loop of your clasp. Of course, my clasp is magnetic, so sometimes it's going to want to stick to a few of these things, just like this. Now simply take your crimp bead, slide it over your working wire and your tail wire, and right up to your wire guard. And as you can see, my crimp is a little bit further away from my wire guard. That's okay. Once I grab it lightly with my crimper tool, I will be able to slide it up all of the way and then crimp it shut. I'm going to go to my crimper tool. If you're not familiar with how to crimp, we do have some really great beginner videos on our channel, so make sure to go take a look. I'm going to go over it a little bit more briefly here, but you can see that we have 2 chambers in the front jaws of the pliers. The one towards the tip just looks like an oval, and the one right behind it looks like a kidney bean. We're going to use the kidney bean first. Oops, as you can see, the fact that it's magnetic might make it a little bit tricky. I sometimes will use my fingers here to keep the magnetic clasp from coming forward. You're going to get this into the little kidney bean shape. Make sure the whole crimp is in there. You can see that the crimp is flush with the side of the pliers. And then now that I've got a grip on it, I can bring it further closer to that wire guard. Give it a squish. You can see that we have that little kidney bean shape. We're now going to put the kidney bean up on its side and put it in the front chamber. And we're going to fold it in half. And again, just make sure that the only thing in the jaw of your pliers is the crimp bead, especially with this magnetic clasp that kind of wants to stay a little attracted. Give it a nice little squish. You can see it nicely upright in that front jaw. Just like that. You can see how it's folded right in half. I've strung on a few of my first color here, and I've also trimmed my tail a little bit shorter. If your beads can allow for it, and you can really do this style of this project with any size beads you want. You can go with smaller beads, with larger beads, whatever you like. You want to just double check to see if your beads can fit over that tail as well. And if that's the case, you want to feed them right over. This means that you won't have to trim that wire up close to the crimp. That first one went over fine, and then we have the rest of them. Just like this. And now, here is your big pro tip. Is it going to take you quite a while to string all these beads? Yeah, it might, but not with this tip. So I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can more easily string these beads onto your soft flex. That means you won't have to just take all the beads off the strand and have them loose and pick them up one at a time. Now, first of all, we have two scenarios here. You are either using a bead that can have enough space in the hole for two lines to run through it. In this case, the small thin piece of monofilament that it's strung on, as well as our soft flex, or the hole is a bit smaller and that won't work. So I'm going to show you both methods. We're going to pretend first that the holes in these beads, or the holes that you're using, are pretty thin and will not allow for two lines to be running through them. What I like to do, if that's the case, is I very carefully pull off a section of beads, keeping them in a nice straight line, just like this. And then I'm easily able to run my soft flex through it, either all of the way or most of the way. So that's a quicker way that you can string on a chunk of these beads. But in this particular case, and hopefully in yours, the monofilament here is so nice and thin that we're going to be able to string nice and quickly and slide our beads right from the monofilament onto your soft flex. So the easiest way to do that is to hold both lines together and really keep that soft flex parallel with the monofilament. And then have your best readers on, of course. And look at that, they're transferring right over. Look at that. And then you just pull the monofilament out and all of those beads are on your string. So I'm going to keep stringing these until I get to 12 inches of this color. Then I'm just going to string up 12 inches of the next color and the next color until I have 12 inches of all 5 colors. And then I will be back in just a moment to show you how we finish up. Okay, I have all 60 inches of beads strung on. I will show you what they all look like in just a moment. But first, let's get this second side crimped to our clasp. So we're going to start by picking up that second tube crimp. We're going to file that wire right through that tube on the wire guard. And we're going to send it right down that other little tube. And when we end up pulling tight, just make sure that your wire sits nicely in that little channel. But before we pull anything tight, we are going to feed this through the other loop of our clasp, just like that. And we're going to make sure, before we pull anything tight, to feed this tail of wire back through our crimp, and if your beads will allow it, back through the first several beads as well. Now I'm going to start to pull this all nice and tight. You can see the whole thing tightens up nicely when you pull towards the rest of the necklace. What you can even do is use your fingers or a pair of pliers just to pinch that wire guard closer together at the very bottom. And that's going to make it gather a little bit more neatly in that area. Just like that, nice and clean. Now we're going to use our crimper tool. Again, I'm using these fingers here to kind of hold that clasp away, because as you can see, it wants to keep attracting our crimper tool here. Get it into that kidney bean shaped chamber, give it a squish. Now put it up on its side, put it in the front chamber to fold it in half. There we go. Lovely. I'm going to give that one more little squish just to make sure I got the whole thing in there. Perfect. Okay, now we can go ahead and trim off that last little bit of wire. Okay, so this is what we have over here. Now, another little tip, whenever you open a magnetic clasp, you never want to pull it apart. That's just going to put a lot of stress on this whole area. You always want to slide. So let me show you everything we have here. We have this beautiful long necklace or bracelet, and as you can see, I started, in case you want to copy my exact colors, I started with that darkest teal, and then I moved along to this beautiful transparent iridescent type gray color, and then I moved along to this lovely sort of opal color, or like a yeah, it's like an opalescent, but like almost like a Pacific opal. It's very similar to Swarovski's Pacific opal. Then to a white opal color, and lastly to this beautiful rose gold color. Now, here are some design things that you can play with. First of all, I decided to go with a very modern look, so I wanted these chunky blocks of color. But some other things you can do, you can use all 5 of your colors, or however many colors you're using, and you can easily mix them up and make a bead soup and string them all randomly, and you will have texture upon texture upon texture. You can use your colors to create a pattern within your necklace, either an A, B repeating pattern, or maybe 5 of one color and then 5 of another color. It's really up to you. You can have a lot of fun with that. Another interesting thing you can do is, rather than go with this sort of modern block of color look that I did, you can blend them. So what you can easily do to blend them is, when you get to the point where you're at your 12-inch mark of one color, leave the last inch or so of those beads and take the first inch or so of the next color and put them down on your mat and mix them up and string them up randomly mixed up. Then start in with the solid of that color. So that's a nice way that you can have a transition in between the 2 colors. So I hope you loved this project. It is a great cost-effective way to make a really fun, beautiful layered necklace. I also, before I go, I want to show you another color scheme that I put together that I think is really lovely. I personally love a beautiful mixed metal type look. So I put this color scheme together with this sort of black, silver, crystal, rose gold color scheme, which I thought was a really beautiful wintry combination, even a little bit of a fall combination where you have that rose gold in there. I love how it's sort of mixed metallics, cool and warm at the same time, which I think is a lot of fun and makes it very versatile, very striking, very beautiful for nighttime. So this is another great color scheme. We're going to link you below in the description box to not only this color scheme, but also this color scheme, as well as a few other fun color schemes that I think you might love. They vary from beautiful and subtle to fun and poppy. And of course, over on EurekaCrystalBeads.com, we have a whole slew of these beautiful Chinese crystal faceted beads, so you can certainly come up with your own color scheme all you want. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to visit us over on our website, and we can hopefully satisfy all of your beading and jewelry needs. Bye.